delving into the Old Testament stories. We're looking at big moral questions.
So with Sanctuary, we really want to have a home away from home. We want to be ahead of that curve and make sure that we're able to provide that kind of support for people.
We crafted a new mission statement and we worked on some long-term SMART goals for the youth ministry so that we have a very strategic vision of where we're going.
I'm Kay Roller. I'm Director of Catechesis of the Good Shepherd at Independent Presbytery. Catechesis is different in that we have lots of hands-on materials. The children get to choose their own lessons, or what we call works. So it really is what calls to the child. Level 3 lessons really are looking at the social, spiritual, and intellectual needs of the 10, 11, and 12-year-old child. So those children have a great sense of curiosity. They're able to think in time and over history. So we're really delving in and looking at big moral questions, looking at Old Testament stories, and connecting them with their own lives, but also looking at the peoples and cultures that are described in the Bible and thinking about their relationship with God. We're really giving them an opportunity to have more leadership roles. They'll be doing their own prayer services in here, where each of the kids are asked to take an important role in designing it and creating it, writing their own prayers, selecting a hymn to sing, selecting scripture. And so I know that they're going to be really excited and look forward to doing that. I think the easiest way to really understand what this experience is like is to come visit on a Sunday morning. We welcome people to come in and visit and see what the kids are doing.
I'm Catherine Goodrow, the Director of Youth Ministries. I believe because we felt like we were at a place where the youth ministry was really strong, but we were ready to elevate it to the next level. Ministry Architects is a consulting group that works with churches, and their major goal is to help churches create sustainable ministries. We sat down with Ministry Architects consultants and lots of congregation members, clergy, and youth, and sort of talked about what are the values that this youth ministry holds. We crafted a new mission statement and we worked on some long-term SMART goals for the youth ministry so that we have a very strategic vision of where we're going from here with the youth ministry. And so I think that's been really helpful because it sort of can guide everything that we do. We can look at it and say, does this fit in with who we said we are in our mission statement? Does this fit with our core values? Does this aim toward our new goals that we've set? And so it gives us a vision for where the youth ministry is moving over the next few years. We took our largest group ever to Montreat this year. We took 33 students and 8 adults, which was huge. It doubles the size of the group that we took the year before. So that was so fun for me as a youth worker to get to share this place that I love with double the number of students and to come back and feel their energy and their passion for this place, and then to see those students transition into leadership roles when we get back and help us start recruiting people to be at these events throughout the rest of the summer and the fall. Recently, we had our big fall kickoff at the UAB Rec Center. It's one of my favorite events of the year because we get to see our new 7th graders move up into the youth ministry, and already Gann and I are starting to see some leaders emerge in this group, and I love that. And so we had 70 students attend the fall kickoff at the Rec Center and also 18 adults engaged in different ways at that event. I think youth are instrumental to the life of the church, and I think we see our youth engaged at IPC in ways that demonstrate their leadership. They serve as acolytes. There are youth delegates serving on this session. There are youth elders and deacons who serve in leadership roles here, and my hope and prayer is that those youth serve as sort of guides for the church, and they show the church where the world is and how amazing our students are. And I think One thing I love is getting to see everyone else react to the youth grant team that we have in place, because everyone gets a little glimpse of what I get to see all the time, that our students are amazing and they're bright and they're leaders. They help the church find its energy and its meaning.
I'm Patrick Harley, and I'm the campus minister for UKirk Birmingham. UKirk is the campus ministry of the Presbyterian Church USA, U standing for university, and Kirk being the Scottish word for church. So we are University Church, and we serve students and young adults in Birmingham at Stanford University, Birmingham Southern College, and University of Alabama at Birmingham, in addition to some others even. We really want to focus on the 3 S's: sanctuary, spiritual wholeness, and social justice. So with sanctuary, we really want to have a home away from home. We want the students to feel like they have a place that is safe for them, where they can come and just inhale and exhale, because sometimes the dorm room doesn't really feel like home. Coffee shops, the library don't really feel like home. And even if they live at home and are commuting, it's different. They're in a different season of life. We want UKirk Birmingham to offer some spiritual wholeness in that regard. And then social justice is our third piece, where a lot of students want to do more than just kind of volunteer and do some service and outreach. They really want to think about the way that they live their life to have some meaning. So thinking about and being challenged by maybe what they buy, and how they're affecting the environment, and how they're affecting their neighbors in the city of Birmingham. And so we really want them to be thinking about the way that they live their everyday life that can be in line with how Christ calls us to live in the gospel. I think it's going to be exciting. Highland Park is a really cool historic area. They have this neutral place where they can come and they can be, that doesn't feel like they have to be cracking open their physics book that night, and they can just come and hang out. The churches in Birmingham are on this kind of rotation of who's going to be providing dinner for students and joining and sitting with us and the students on Tuesday night, and then worshiping alongside students. And I think that can create this really healthy sense of community, so students don't just feel like the only people that they know in Birmingham are their professors and their student peers, but they actually know people in the Birmingham community, and that kind of gives them some roots and a sense of, okay, I'm in this city, not just on this one campus.
I'm Reverend Brian Lays, the Director of Congregational Ministries. Wellspring is a dementia care program that we're developing for folks who have mild to moderate dementia. It's a care program for them to come for about 4 hours from 10 to 2 and receive social stimulation, and they get the opportunity to do music activities, do puzzles and games, eat lunch together, experience a devotional moment. And it provides them with stimulation and companionship, as well as it gives their caretakers an opportunity to rest or run errands, do whatever they need to do. Initially, we want to start with 2 days a week hosting the program, and we're looking at about 15 participants per session. But we're mostly looking for participants who just want to be along for the ride. Not much is involved as far as, preparation or anything like that. You just come and you walk someone through the activities between 10 and 2. You eat with them, you play the games with them. The sort of volunteers we need are just people who are looking for companionship and friendship, and want to get to know some new folks. When this program is done well, participants don't know whether they're a volunteer or a participant, because everyone does everything together. Other churches that have similar programs have waiting lists. And we also know that dementia is going to become more and more of a struggle for folks moving into the future. And so we want to be ahead of that curve and make sure that we're able to provide that kind of support for people, and that those structures and programs are in place as people grow older.
I'm Susan Clayton. I'm the Associate Pastor for Community Ministries at IPC. That's all of our local and global mission work, including the Open Door. We have a really wonderful partnership with the Literacy Council of Central Alabama and Jeff State Community College and JCCEO to provide us with space and also staff and resources for the 3 major programs that we have been running for the past year. We've had 14 GED students, including 2 graduates, 7 basic literacy students, and 7 English as a second language students. We have a young, well, maybe not so young, middle-aged man whose name is Aziz, who has been in our GED class. And he moved to the United States from Turkey. And he has been in the country for over 20 years. He had a degree from his university in his home country. His credits wouldn't transfer from his home country, so he has been diligently working at trying to get his GED in order to continue his education here and be able to move into a better job for him now that his injury prevents him from doing the labor work that he has been doing for the last 20 years. Mr. Mabry is 65 years old. He was our first adult literacy student, and he was the first person who came to the open door and said, I want to participate in these programs. His family was not aware, his children were not aware, and grandchildren, that he was a non-reader. But he now has shared that with his family. He's making good progress in his reading. He told us when he came that the reason he finally decided to come learn to read is because he had just retired from his work, and he wanted to be able to read to his grandchildren, and he wanted to be able to read his Bible for himself. So he is, in fact, reading children's books with his grandchildren.
And I think that is important right now, in this time, in this place, because church for many people is about a sense of belonging. Before I ever figure out what I need to believe, it's, can you make space for me? Can you make space here? The ugly volleyball court, or existing volleyball court right there, that people have been trying to figure out what to do with for a while. And this came out of a few neighbors around here who said, why don't we start with some sort of garden, which evolved into a community garden with a teaching component to it. There's also studies that have been shown that community gardens cut down on crime in neighborhoods just because people get to know their neighbors. It also builds civic pride in a neighborhood. Once you see the beauty of something that's growing that you and your neighbors have had a hand in, you begin to take a little bit more investment into what happens in that neighborhood.
And then the whole idea is whatever we harvest from the garden, we get to sit down at a table together and enjoy it.
The latest design we had, we've just removed the fence from this part because we don't want anything to block people from feeling like this is their space to come in, but not to come in alone, to know that there are a group of people here who both care for the space and the people who surround it.
Even this right now, can you hear the cicadas? It's like when you start tuning into the miracle of every moment, it's...
Yeah.
I'm Tori McDonald, and I'm a member of the steering committee for the Highland Park Community Garden Project. I was excited about the idea of just having a little piece of land that I can plant my own things in. But as we've started meeting with the Neighborhood Association and also with the City Parks and Rec Board, we quickly realized how important and big of a project that this could be, because it's going to be the first community garden to ever be in a city park in Birmingham. There's going to be about 34-foot by 8-foot plots in it, the way we have it designed right now, that are going to be leasable to residents for 1 year, in which they can grow whatever they'd like to. It's just an idea, and we've had a lot of people who are excited about being involved in any way they can.
This garden, before we've put in a seed, has already got this whole bed of people who are just tilling and plowing this work that's eventually going to lead to something really beautiful and fruitful, I think.